Hey, family. How are you doing? Welcome back to another episode of the Dream Again podcast. Before we get back into the episode, I want to take this time to thank our sponsor, Kairos Media. This episode is brought to you by and produced by Kairos Media. If you're looking to launch a podcast, level up your social media, or build a website that actually works for your brand, Kairos Media has you covered. They specialize in podcast production, social media management, web design, and photography, making sure your content isn't just seen, but that it stands out. I know firsthand how important high quality content is, and Kairos Media helps creators and businesses bring their visions to life. Whether you're starting from scratch or need to revamp your online presence, they'll give you the strategy and tools to grow. So if you're ready to take your brand to the next level, reach out to Kairos Media today at admin@kairosmediasa.com. Kairos Media, your moment is now. Look, we have another special guest here with us today, and I'm so excited to bring her on. Let me just go ahead and introduce her. I'm excited to bring to us today Teresa Ramirez. She's a best-selling and award-winning author, a motivational speaker, and kindness ambassador. She's dedicated to helping parents raise compassionate and resilient children. In a world where troubled teens sometimes turn to devastating choices, Teresa empowers parents with the tools to foster kindness, joy, and connection in their families. Through her divinely inspired video messages, blog posts, and her signature Fun with Bubbles approach, she encourages parents to take the lead in creating a home filled with love and meaningful moments. When she's not inspiring parents, Teresa volunteers at Darlene Bishop's Home for Life. She spends quality time with her sons and enjoys the company of her pets and loves outdoor adventures like hiking and kayaking. Everybody, let's welcome Teresa to the show. Hey, Teresa, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. This is going to be fun.
It is. I'm so excited for our talk today. First of all, just random. I like hiking and everything. I have never been kayaking before. Is it?
Yes, it is. And we have a couple little rivers here in Cincinnati, and that's where we go. And I make my sons go. So if there's any trouble or
Right.
something needed shifted, they can do the heavy lift.
What was one of the most adventurous maybe kayaking trips that you've been on?
I won't. They're not. They're very. It's quiet river. If it's too high, they won't even let it. So
okay.
So So I'm not into the whitewater rafting kind of thing. You guys go ahead.
And gotcha.
Yeah. What's that lazy river that they have?
Just we're chilling.
Yeah.
I love that. I definitely need to try that then. Because when I think of kayaking, I think of like the water rafting and all of that stuff. Nope. Okay. I can't.
Yeah. No, and just go on you can go on a lake, and a nice quiet lake, and just paddle around.
We don't have too many lakes here where I am, but we have some. So I might have to try it out and see how I like it.
It's easy and it's just fun and it's relaxing.
Yeah.
So it's a way to relax.
Yeah. My goal this year is to just be open to trying things new and saying yes, instead of thinking about all of the reasons why I shouldn't do something. Well, what can I benefit from doing something new, right?
Yes. Yes. I've been there many times.
Awesome. Well, welcome again. Tell us a little bit about you and Journey in Kindness and a little bit about your story.
My story. I'm was a single parent, raised two sons. They're now in their 30s. I was in corporate America for over 30 years. My parents, I had aging parents, I should say.
Mhm.
And toward the end, they needed assistance. So between my sister and I, we split the week up. So for 5 years, we cared for them. They wanted to stay in their home. And so my sister and I chose, if we can keep them at home and care for them, then we're going to give them that gift.
Right.
And I thank God that they didn't get too seriously ill where we just couldn't handle it. So I did that. And then, but during that time is when Journey of Kindness kind of sprouted. There was a school shooting down in Parkland, Florida. And don't ask me why that school shooting, because, sadly, there have been many before and many after. And God just kind of said, you need to write a letter. So I did. I sat down and just kind of sympathized with the students, grieved with them. But then I wanted to empower them and say, you can make a difference. You can do it yourself by sitting alone with that, or sitting with the person that's sitting alone at lunch. They're dropping pencils in the hallway. Don't laugh. Just help them pick them up. Just connecting with your fellow students in a positive way goes a long way. And then I kind of took that letter and set it aside, and God, God, he's nudging, poke, 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 poke.
That's how he does
so
it.
I did 21 day kindness challenge on Facebook, and that was in 2019. Then started to get into a couple schools. It was a lot of fun. And then like COVID hit. So where did we all land? In front of the computer. Yep. Then I really started to read. I don't know what I did before, but that just was really, I guess I didn't really pay attention to anybody's posts. I don't know. But I really started to read what adults were posting, and they were nasty. And oh my gosh. And then I was listening to the kids, and the kids are like, yeah, we read what they post because we don't want them posting about us.
Right.
So they see it, and then they're like, okay, they're not posting about us, but if they can say that, so can I. And I'm like, no. And that's what I need to get to the parents. I need to focus on them and let them they need to be empowered to be the CEOs of the family. Take back control. You set the values and philosophies you want your kids to learn. And one of the things I think a misconception is, well, they'll learn that in school. Well, they can learn all they want in school, but behavior-wise, if they come home and you're not mirroring that behavior, not being the good example, that's the example they're actually going to follow.
Exactly.
And yes, and we should be imitators of Christ.
Yes.
And then if we're doing that, then our kids are going to imitate us and ultimately imitate Christ. And I think we've lost that a little bit down the line. And I'm not bad mouthing parents. I'm just saying we just need to look at it and take control.
Yeah, for sure. My grandparents were educators for years, and so that was really a big thing in our home, is that for everything, we're not going to just rely on the school. We're not just going to rely on the teachers to teach you everything, right? If you learn something at school and then you come home and you're not also doing that, then everything that you're getting at school is just, it's like etch-a-sketch, right? Is that what those things were called? An etch-a-sketch. Right. Yeah. It's like that. And it's like all of that goes away. Yeah. And you talk about being the CEO of your family, the CEO of your home. And I was a corporate HR professional for many years. And so what did, that you learned corporately from your corporate job to kind of bring that in and say, hey, we can be the CEO of our family? How did the leadership skills that you learned from your corporate job kind of help you with parenting?
I think that when I thought it came up with CEO, I said, in a corporation, the CEO sets the philosophies and the values, and this is what we're going to do. And that just filters on down from the CEO down to the mail. And that's what I wanted parents to do and they have to write their mission statement as part, put their values into a family mission statement and then follow that along. But that's, your actions, and this would be like a CEO of a corporation, his actions, his behavior, all of the employees are watching that. And we emulate that when we're dealing with customers of the company.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Parents have to do the same thing, and they have to be good role models, good action models for their kids.
For sure, for sure. And being in HR and working with, the C-suite executives and things like that, even when the CEO is not around, right? I've worked on like remote sites where the corporate office isn't even here, but you can tell through the emails that leadership is sending. You can tell through how other, the management level leadership run meetings and things like that. It all, comes from the top and trickles its way down. If the CEO is yelling at people in the meetings and putting pressure on, the other executives, then they're going to put pressure on their teams and it flows all the way down. And then now you have this culture of everybody is stressed out or everybody is, yelling at each other and things like that. So even when you're not around, the culture that you cultivate at home, it shines through your kids, right?
Exactly. And I got a great example. One of my great nephews, my niece and her husband do a great job modeling this. And so he was in 6th grade, I think, and they're not around in school and no one told him, but there was a kid that's in a wheelchair and he couldn't push the wheelchair himself and carry his lunch tray. So my nephew, great nephew, went over and asked if he could help him and then said, "Where would you like to sit?" And the kid kind of shrugged and he said, "Well, yeah, come sit with us." So they went over and sat, and my great nephew is an athlete. So most of his friends are also athletes. Well, come to find out, the kid in the wheelchair knew every sports statistic there was.
Wow.
So they ended up fascinating, having great conversations at lunch every day. And this went on for 3 years before they all went on their separate ways through high school. But that's just, his parents were modeling to him. No one told him to do it, and no one was watching him do that. And that's what we're striving for.
Yeah.
That our kids are going to be kind when we're not looking over their shoulder.
For sure, for sure. And is that something that you talk about in your book? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I do. But it's one of the examples, and because I get to the part of the book where people are saying, nothing I do matters. Well, here's a list of examples of kids from 6 years old and to their early 20s where no one's watching, no one's telling them to do anything, and they're doing acts of kindness. And most of it is my son. I have an example from my son who was in his early 20s, worked for a restaurant, and the restaurant also had a event hall. And they asked him to work there one night, and they said he did such an awesome job. They gave him huge obscene tip is what I call it. But he's downtown. Now this is the mom. He's downtown, going home now, walking to his car downtown. I want to emphasize this.
Right.
and it's like 1 a.m. And somebody came up and asked him for money. So he's like, already on cloud 9 because he's got all this money. And yeah, sure. I had a great night. I'm going to bless you. And he never told me how much he gave, but he blessed the man. And I'm going, oh, that's so great. And then the mom side of me, I go, are you kidding? You gave anything to them. I
You're
never
walking
said
around
that
with
to
all
him.
this cash and
but I laughed. I never ever have said that to him, but I praised him for being kind. But yeah, that's kind of the yin and the yang of being a mom.
For sure. Yeah, because you don't want to discourage your children at all, but You want to make sure that they're safe and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
And
my
then the other
goodness.
one is my 6-year-old great nephew, him
Mm-hmm.
and his 4-year-old sister and his dad were raking leaves. And they got all done, got their yard, all the fall cleanup, all the stuff. And then he looks over at Mr. Jones's yard and says, "Oh, Dad, didn't he break his leg? He can't break his leaves." And they said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, then come on, Dad." He's dragging my nephew across, but we got to take care of this. And of course, the 4-year-old sister is going to do anything the big brother does. So on they
Right.
go and do the cleanup. So that's at 6. So those are examples anywhere from 6 to the early 20s where your kids are doing something and you're not watching. You know, my nephew felt, because I'm kind of embarrassed. I didn't think to go to the yard. They my kid did. So yeah, and those are just, and none of it was hard. None of it was
Yeah.
hard. And I think that's what I want to emphasize. I'm not asking you to go and do these monumental things. It's just simple, basic acts of kindness, raking the leaves, holding the door, a smile and a hello, and never impact how important that is. And
Yeah.
looking up from your phone once in a while you're walking down the street.
Right. Right. Those things, they have a ripple effect. These small acts, they have a ripple effect. So what do you think holds people back from doing those little things, throughout the day, in their day-to-day lives, from just doing those small acts of kindness?
I'm not entirely sure, but I will tell you, I was in the store yesterday
Mm-hmm.
buying an outfit. We got to, of course, I got to talk about kindness and shared my book with them. And we were talking, and my son's been bullied. And I had one of my tools to try to help that is ask them to try, practice with your kid to turn that conversation around. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if a bully comes up and says, "You're an idiot," you can say, "Well, sometimes I do stupid things, but you're really smart." And
Mm-hmm.
the bully comes back with another nasty thing. And you go, "Yeah, but you're so lucky you get to do X." And
Right.
you just keep rolling back and forth, twisting it, turning it back into a
Mm-hmm.
kindness. And what happens is that the bully stops because they can't, it's very difficult to continue to be nasty when someone's telling you that you're smart,
Right.
you're beautiful, you're lucky. It's really hard to continue to be nasty. And the other woman is like, "Oh, that sounds nice, but I don't think that's going to work. People are just too mean." And I'm like, and this is a true conversation that happened. And
Wow.
I'm like, you know, that's, I appreciate that. However, there are studies that
Yeah.
prove that if you and I exchange, and the two women exchange an act of kindness like we have been doing this whole time,
Mm-hmm.
our serotonin levels go up. Those are our happy hormones.
Yeah.
So from our conversation, we have 3 happy people.
Right.
And they're like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, just think about the store next door does that. And the store next door does that." And the fascinating thing about this, anybody that witnesses that, their happy hormones go up too. So if
Yeah.
we're doing this and think about it, everybody's doing this in all these stores, we can have a whole strip mall full of happy people. And all you need to do is focus on your little store, your corner of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is those ripples are going to merge together and create a wave of kindness that washes across the country and around the world.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
she, she didn't say much after that.
Cause what do you say
But
after that?
I got shot her and I said, and I looked at her and, as I was leaving, I said, "You know what I know for sure is Jesus Christ is on the throne
Mm-hmm.
and he's in."
Yes.
She responded to in a very positive way. So that's just,
Yeah.
it's a fear in
Mm-hmm.
some people, or some people just can't see beyond, sadly, the nastiness. But if we're
Mm-hmm.
all practicing kindness, that's going to go away and focus. I always look for the good in people. and the kindness of people. So when somebody's not nice to me, I'm a little shocked. So,
Same.
because I'm always looking for that good.
Yeah,
And that's what we have, the mindset we have to change.
yes. It's definitely a mindset. My husband not laughs at me, but he brings it up jokingly sometimes. You know what? You just that is your superpower. You can always see the good in someone. Cuz we'll be talking about something and I'll be like, "Well, maybe, they if you look at their side of things, well, maybe this and that's why they're thinking the way that they're thinking." And he's always like, "You know what? You just see the good in people." And I think that's a really good thing to do. Um Sometimes it can be to a fault, but I think I would rather that be my default than to just always see the worst in the world and the worst in people.
Yeah. And I'm a story where I came up against somebody that was not very nice to me, but I had to make a choice. And it was at lunch, and the server came up with her little pen and pad and said, "What do you want?" And I'm like looking at my friend going, "Well, we had a couple questions about the menu." "I don't know. I was told to come over here and take your order. What do you want?" Like, eh. So we just, so we placed our order. We got the food. Everything was fine. I don't think she ever came and refilled a coffee or a water or anything. And then toward the end of the meal, slaps the bill down and goes and walks away. And my friend and I had this conversation because we had to make, sadly, we had a decision to make. And our knee-jerk reaction, manager, we're going to call the manager and we're going to lay this out. And cooler heads prevailed, kinder heads prevailed, I should say. And we went ahead and tipped her a normal tip. And on my receipt, I wrote, "You are designed to shine." And I put a smiley. Picked up our stuff and left. And I still don't believe this to this day. She chased us out to the parking lot. Wow. Tears. "Thank you. I really needed to hear that."
Wow.
And then turned in the store. But personal pain is as unique as a fingerprint. You never know what somebody's going through. So you always have to be kind. And we could have chose the other way, and we had every right to choose to choose that, the manager, but we chose kindness. And I think that we need to focus on choosing kindness over being right.
Yes.
And we could talk politics, but if you're on one side, I'm on the other, are we going to change our minds no matter what we say? Probably not. So why talk about it? Why risk ruining that friendship, ruining a family relationship?
Right.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Never to speak to a sibling again.
Yeah.
I just don't see where it works. And so I always think we really need to be intentional, and we really need to stay focused. I know it's hard. There's a lot going on today. There's a lot of stuff piled on your plate, but I think you need to get up in the morning and start thinking of it.
Yes. Yes. And like you said, it's so easy to get caught up in, I have the right to be mad, so I'm going to be mad because you know what? You did me wrong. So I'm going to be mad because I have the right to be. And it's like, yes, but you also have the right to be kind. You have the right to have a good day. Are you going to let this moment, ruin the rest of your day and go and I have, I've had friends in my life who, every time, if something happens at 9 a.m. in the morning that upset them or someone wasn't kind to them or for whatever reason, at 9 p.m. at night, they're still talking about it with whoever will listen. But if you flip that and you turn it into a moment where you can be kind to somebody and have a beautiful encounter with another person, at 9 p.m. that night, maybe, you're paying it forward to somebody else. And now you're reflecting on, wow, this has really been a great day.
Yes. And that's exactly. exactly what I'm trying to get people to do.
Mm-hmm.
And another great example, and I know I talk about this one a lot, but it's so simple and has such a huge impact. A
Mm-hmm.
friend retired, got bored, went to work at a parking garage. And to this day, he says it's the best job he ever had. But he took a couple weeks off, came back, and his regular people, where have you been? I've had the worst 2 weeks of my life. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he said, your good morning and your smile always sets my day off on the right note. He said, I've always, whenever you're here, I have great days because of your smile and your good morning. He said, those last 2 weeks were not good. So, and he came to me and said, you always said that a smile goes a long way, but he said, I never understood the impact I could have.
Yes.
And that's what I would like to emphasize to people is keep it simple. And a smile does have a huge impact. When I'm walking my dog on our bike trail, and of course it's full of snow right now, so I'm not, but we run into all sorts of people and I say hi and good morning to everybody. Mm-hmm. And I'm always surprised when people look up at me like they're shocked that someone has acknowledged them, has acknowledged their existence. And I got to thinking, how many people go through a day and don't say hi to anybody?
Yeah.
And how sad that is. So that smile can change somebody's day around completely. And that's it. That's all it is. Just turning the mindset, changing it over and focusing on kindness instead of all the, I'm afraid of this because this is going on, or I'm angry at this because this is
going on. Yeah.
You've got to change. How do you have to decide.
Yeah.
And you start it first thing in the morning. How do I want this day to go? And you create your own day, a kind day, better day.
Yeah, one thing that my goddad talks about, he says, if you wake up and you say, "Oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed," go to sleep and wake up on the other side, and try again.
That.
Like
that's a good one.
Yeah, just choose to have a good day. Just choose to have that. And there's I talked about him last week, but there's a minister at my church, Minister John. And one thing about him is that he's going to make sure that he tells you something that's going to make you feel good that day. And when he's not at church and I don't get that, you know what, Tay, you did a great job today. I notice it when he's not around, and everyone at my church is so loving and encouraging and stuff, but that is something that he is amazingly good at and that he is very intentional about. And when he's not there, it's like, man, like everything's still good and I had a great day and everything like that, but it's like I'm missing something, and it was that good job or that fist bump from him and that acknowledgement of I see what you're doing and I appreciate you for showing up today. Just telling somebody thank you for showing up today, it can change their entire life.
And that can start at home.
Yeah.
Your spouse, put I appreciate you note next to their coffee mug. Mm-hmm. Put it in your children's mirror. You're awesome. You're smart.
Yeah.
The note in the backpack because you've got the big math test today. Mm-hmm. You've got this. Just little, it's the little stuff, and it can start everyone's day off and keep it going. Keep it going.
Yeah, something that my husband and I are really intentional about that I love is that we tell each other thank you, even for the little things, right? He still opens the door for me and all of that. And just about every time I'm like, thank you. You know what I mean? If I, give, made dinner or something, this was great, babe. Thank you for that. I appreciate you making dinner. I appreciate that. And so that's something that we try to really be intentional about in our home, is just being grateful for each other, even for the small things, and not missing those opportunities to just say, you know what, I appreciate you. It just makes it makes your day better, just hearing that from somebody that you love. And we miss those opportunities every single day,
And what a beautiful example you're spreading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So let's kind of switch a little bit and kind of talk a little bit about social media, right? Social media, there is a lot of cruelty that goes on social media. You kind of talked about that a little bit, but there's also such a huge opportunity to spread kindness on the internet. So let's talk about what your thoughts are on that.
Well, think about it. Think about if every nasty post out there was actually a kind post.
Yeah.
How amazing. Because social media is a blessing and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept saying, why can't we make it? We can. Let me rephrase. We can make it a total blessing. But y'all have to work together. Y'all have to
Mm-hmm.
work in your little corner of your social media.
Yes.
And I go back to parents. What you post, your child sees. What you speak, your child hears.
Mm-hmm.
So we're back to being imitators of God.
Yes.
So when you go to sit at your social media, are you being an imitator of God? Is your post imitating God?
Mm.
Is your post being kind and compassionate to someone? Is your
Yeah.
post being forgiving to someone? It's all comes back to being intentional
Yeah.
and how you're going to design your day.
For sure. For
You
sure.
know, I know, and I go back to Galatians. Galatians
Mm.
it says, the more we nurture kindness and compassion, the more opportunities we have to spread our
Yeah.
faith. So kindness just leads right in to being
Mm-hmm.
faithful.
Yeah, because um if you're even if you're giving good information, even if you're, spreading the gospel, for instance, right? Even if you're trying to, speak the truth on Jesus Christ and share that with someone else, that's a amazing thing. But if you give that to somebody in a trash bag or on the floor or something like that, they're not going to receive that message, right? It's all about, how you present yourself to others that opens them up to actually receive what it is that you have to say, even if it's, feedback on something or anything. How you package that is important, right?
And don't judge other people.
Yeah.
That's no. No, actually. And that's it. People do that. They use the
Mhm.
Bible and they use God to judge people. And
Yes.
no, so it is just like you said, how you package it, how you give that gift back.
Yeah, how you give that gift back. Yeah, and I'm just enjoying this conversation so much, and I appreciate you um and just taking the time to come and speak to us. Everybody, make sure that you check out her book on Amazon. They can pick up your book on Amazon, right?
Right. Yes, they can.
And what is the title of it again?
It's raising kind children.
Raising Kind Children on Amazon. And then your website, Teresa?
My website is journeyinkindness.com/contacts. So you can reach out to me.
Yeah, so make sure that you are connecting. We're going to put all of this information in the description. So make sure that you are connecting with Teresa. We're not done yet. I just wanted to make sure that we took some time to talk about this. And then, Teresa, on March 1st, you're going to be speaking on an online conference. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, I was invited to stop bullying in schools,
Mm-hmm.
and I was invited to be one of the speakers. So my thing is more prevention.
Mm-hmm.
How can we empower our kids to be kind to each other so that so we don't have the bullying to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And another gentleman does that with the think. It's what you speak true, helpful,
Mm-hmm.
inspiring, necessary, and kind. And then the others are all like, you're in a situation where your child's being bullied and here's some prevention. So it
Mm-hmm.
kind of covers the whole gambit.
Oh, that's
of the study.
good.
Yeah.
That's amazing and awesome. And what would
It's an
you
online,
uh-huh.
conference, so it'll be easy for everyone to get to.
Yeah, and we'll include the link to that so you guys can go and register. Make sure that you're connecting. That's an amazing opportunity just to learn about that because we talk about stopping bullying and having resources for, children who have experienced bullying and things of that nature, but what are we actually doing about it? And then how are we helping the parents of the students who are bullying other students? What would you say to the parent who got the call from the principal's office that their child is bullying and giving a hard time to another student at their school?
There's something going on with your child.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting all upset about it. That the bully is as much a victim as his victim, because
Mm-hmm.
there's something going on in his life that's creating that anger that he has. And I know recommend to everybody, again, it's a prevention thing for me, is
Yeah.
check in with your child,
Mm-hmm.
ask them 3 questions. And I love this. And there's very many versions of this. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
emphasize everything I'm saying is just a format frame,
Right.
but you can tweak it so it works in your family. So I make that clear. But the 3 questions, the first one is, what was the best thing that happened to you today?
Mm-hmm.
What's the thing that happened today that you're not real happy about?
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing is, what made you laugh?
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important question of 3.
Right.
Because if your child isn't laughing, kids should be laughing
Yes.
all the time. And if they're coming home and you're not seeing laughter, whoa, that's a red.
Mm-hmm.
That's a red. And do not be ashamed to reach out and get help.
Yeah.
I think some parents are like, well, I'm a bad parent because I have to get my kid help. No, 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 no. It's not that way. Reach out and get your kid help and help them walk through what can make them happy during the day. What's the thing that they enjoy the most?
Mm-hmm.
And focus as much on that as you can, because then it's going to bloom and grow in your child.
Yeah. Just hearing them out. A lot of times, um, kids bully at school because they have pent up frustrations or things that they're worried about that they have no other outlet to let out and make them feel good about themselves. So making sure that you give your children opportunities to have those outlets to talk about their day, not just asking them, "Oh, how was your day?" "Good." "How was your day?" "Bad." No, like tell me about your day, and asking those specific questions to be able to um nurture that conversation with them and having that openness with them, right, is so important.
Yes. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, don't be afraid to ask for help. There's no
Yeah.
shame.
Yeah, you're a great parent because you are taking the extra step to figure out what you can do to help your child, right? That makes you a great parent. There are so many parents who don't even know what's going on with their children in the first place to even be able to help, right? And the fact that there's a problem and that you want to address it and help your child to grow in that way or even to grow with them, right? Is an amazing start.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And this is random, but it goes in with it. To the adult who is realizing maybe later in life, or to the adult who's realizing, wow, I really need to be more kind. Maybe I'm a bully as an adult. What do you say to them?
You filling up your kindness tank,
Mhm.
because you can't be kind to others if you haven't filled up your kindness tank. And that's being kind to you. So it's little things.
Mhm.
So is it, and again, whatever works for you, getting up 15 minutes before everybody else in the house and having that quiet cup of coffee?
Mhm.
Is it getting up 15 minutes early and making sure you have your prayer time? Is it taking a walk at lunchtime?
Mhm.
I need, a mental break. I need fresh air,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. The hot bubble bath, all those kind of things. But you know what works best for you.
Right.
So fill your own kindness tank up before you go out there. And I did want to, and this is a great time to say this, I am
Yeah.
offering your audience a, a 75 random acts of kindness checklist. And
Yes.
it's 75 ways to be kind. So if you're sitting there going, I don't know what to do, pull up the checklist. Okay. And I did it, and I did them so that I think smile is the first
Mhm.
one. And then it graduates to the more aggressive ones, like planting a tree to be kind to the plant. So,
Mhm.
but you can sit and look, well, which one would I like to focus on today or this week? And get your kids involved. Maybe you could, hey, you guys pick one and we'll do it. That
Mhm.
kind of stuff. So that just helps them. I don't know where to start. Here's a list of where to start. But start by
Yeah.
filling your kindness tank.
Yeah, be kind to yourself first. Yeah, so everything is linked below. Make sure that you go and get that kindness checklist. I'm gonna make sure that I download it, and I'm gonna be sharing with y'all what the one thing this week that I'm going to focus on as far as kindness is concerned. So share that with me, share that with Teresa this week. I'm sure that you would love to hear it too, Teresa.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. And what is one thing that you like to do to fill your kindness tank?
Mine is, I just love to walk with the dog and do the
Mhm.
hiking. I got a park back here and an amazing bike trail to walk on.
Uh-huh.
So that for me, and that is oftentimes get up in the middle of the day and I need fresh air. My mind's clogged. I'm overwhelmed. I can't focus. So
Yeah.
I get out there and do that. That's my main thing. And then prayer. I think it
Awesome.
goes without saying prayer.
Right. But no, I think it needs to go with saying because people take that time for granted too.
True, true.
Yeah, and they don't see that as, pouring back into yourself. Sometimes we look at prayer or even, reading the scriptures and things like that. We look at that as just a chore that we have to check off of our list as a Christian, but it's like no, that is something that's pouring into you, that's nurturing your relationship with God and that is something that is good for you and not just something that you have to do as a punishment or that's boring, right?
Right, right. No, absolutely. I, yeah, I just never thought of it that way. That's good. So then it turned out that I never thought people thought that way. I just talk to God.
Hmm. Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to do that? But it's like some people they do see that as like a chore. I got up and I read my one scripture today and check I'm a Christian today. And it's like no, it's filling your kindness tank. It's filling your it should fill
Okay.
your spiritual tank too, right? That's such a big aspect of it as well. And we take those opportunities for granted every single day to even just wake up and to breathe and to say, you know what, God, thank you for waking me up this morning.
Yes.
That in
Yes.
itself means I had a great day, is that I woke up.
And that can also help, especially at least in Ohio in February, it's
Hmm.
dismal and we've had a rough winter
Hmm.
because people start to get depressed. And instead, you switch your mind focus to, oh, it's so cold outside. It's so cloudy outside. I don't want to look at snow anymore. Let's just, God, thank you for waking me up today. Thank you
Hmm.
for the beautiful white snow. It really is pretty. Thank
Yeah.
you for allowing me to do this podcast. Thank you
Yes.
for allowing these people into my life. And again, that helps. It's a mindset change. But the more you focus on the positive, focus on the great things you
Hmm.
have in your life, and we all have some amazing things in our life to be grateful for, the kinder you're going to be in your filling up your kindness tank and don't even know it.
And don't even know it. Yeah. Just taking the time to be grateful is such a big such a big thing. And one thing that I love that you say is that kindness should be as normal as breathing, right?
Yeah, natural is breathing.
As
Yeah.
natural as breathing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been part of my journey. And a couple years into it, that's when I came up with the tagline, making kindness as natural as breathing, because it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle, and you're choosing that lifestyle. It's a crazy
Yeah.
lifestyle sometimes, but it's okay.
It can be. Do you have a story of kindness, either you showing kindness to someone or maybe you've experienced it or heard it, that it was just a crazy experience? Like, wow, somebody was so kind. I can't even believe it. Like, it's mind blowing. Do you have one of those moments?
I had one of those moments because I didn't know it. I didn't know. Again, this is where the pain comes in. I didn't know this woman was in pain. And when I walked Noelle, she's a cute little 10-pound dog. She looks like Mickey Mouse. And everybody wants to pet her. So when this woman asked to pet her, I thought, oh, it's somebody else. Okay, yeah, sure, pet her. Well, there were steps there where we were. She sat down. And of course, Noelle, never one to give up attention. Because, she makes me feel so bad. The way she acts, I never give her attention. Not true. Anyway, she hops in the woman's lap, and the woman starts petting her. And then she starts to speak. I lost my husband 6 months ago. And she's sitting there just petting Noelle. And I lost my beloved dog 3 weeks ago. And she's just going, and she continues to speak. And I am trying not to start to bawl because I feel so bad for this. And she's continuing to pet Noelle, who is just going, yeah, do that some more. And then
she's just living it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Noelle. That's Noelle. The more attention, the better. Attention hog. And the woman's going, and she just wanted to, I don't know how long we sat there. I have no idea. And then she's done. She stands up, wipes her tears, and she said, thank you so much. I haven't felt that good in weeks, months. And went on her day. And I'm just, who knew? All I thought she wanted to do was pet the dog.
Right.
But, so that was one of those, wow, I didn't see that coming.
For sure. And just saying hi to someone, a smile, like you said, or letting someone pet your dog, we miss out on so many great opportunities of amazing human connection. There are some beautiful people in this world, and sometimes we stay to ourselves in our own little box, fast moving all the time, and we forget or we miss out on our phones, just walking on your phone, standing in line on your phone, everywhere on your phone. And it's like, there are amazing people out there that we should be connecting with. And my pastor, she's really great at just talking to someone and just asking someone a question. We can be standing in a line, getting something to eat somewhere, random places, right? And she'll just, oh, well, where are you from? Oh, really? And then just learning about people. And then the next thing that she's able to minister to them just by saying, oh, I like your shoes. And being open to these moments.
Yeah, I had another moment, wasn't as shocking, but, we've had a lot of snow around here. And my son's car doesn't go that great in the snow, so he asked me to take him to work. And I said, sure. And he said, we better throw a shovel in because we don't know if they got the streets cleaned off very well. And I said, fine. Get to work. It was all good. Cincinnati did a great job. And on the way home, I was on a busy street where the plows had gone through, but there's cars parked along there. So basically, they kind of snowed those cars in even more. And I was watching some people shoveling their cars out. I got a shovel. So without thinking about it, I pulled over, came running with my shovel. Here, I'll help. And we got to talking. And they went from, hate the snow, but be late for work. This is ridiculous. To, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And then we were able, because I helped, they had time to help a couple other people down the road, down the line. But it just switched, and they all felt the same way. They were all angry and frustrated and thought that, the snow was horrible. And then they just turned it all around, and I didn't plan that. It's just I didn't think about it. I just, I have a shovel. I can help. Let's go. But it was, to me, it was such a simple, easy thing. And that's what making kindness as a natural breathing is. You're doing acts of kindness and you don't even think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I just love the ripple effect that happens. And we think that, like, smiling at somebody or, being kind to somebody, it's just something that happens between me and you. Right. But no, you're putting it out into the world, and that energy just transfers and keeps going. And you don't know what your one act, and I guess it's not ever for us to know, but what that one act can and how it can affect so many other people down the line, and how that just gets transferred and keeps going.
And
That's
it's
awesome.
It's an amazing phenomenon, I guess you could call it. And once you've experienced once or twice, it kind of becomes an addiction. But it's probably one of the best addictions out there.
It's the best one. It's the best one. So before we leave out, Teresa, I have two more questions, but this last question for you is, at the end of your journey, right? What legacy do you want to leave with Journey in Kindness?
I want people to realize they have the power to make this world a better place. Mm-hmm. They have a power to teach that to their children, and think about the legacy their children are going to leave. Yeah. So that's what I want to see, that people say, oh, if I choose this, then it's going to be better, because it is. Mm-hmm. And don't get so hung up and get so angry that that's all you see. Yeah. Look for the good in the situation. Look for the good in people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Look for the good in people, for sure. And lastly, this is our new thing that we do with all of our guests. If you watched last week, everybody, with Andrew Williams, we talk about the wins that we have, because we want to make sure that we're celebrating ourselves, being kind to ourselves, and actually celebrating those wins and not harping on the negative things. So, Teresa, in the last few days or the last few weeks, what's a win that you would like to share with us?
I have two wins. One is being invited to be a speaker at the Stop Bullying conference on March 1st. Yeah, that was a huge win for me.
For sure.
That other people are recognizing what I'm doing, and people in my field, so to speak, are recognizing that I have something to say. And then it's important. Yes. And then the other one is, on Saturday, I am going to receive my book award in an official ceremony. And that's exciting. That's exciting. I get to go to Arizona where it's nice and warm.
Congratulations. That's amazing. That's amazing. Tell us about the award and everything like that.
Oh, the award, it is the National Impact Book Award in the family category. And they have, I received it, acknowledged the award back in July. And then the official ceremony is in Phoenix, Arizona this week.
Awesome. Well, safe travels to you. Live it up. I cannot wait to hear all about it. But that is amazing, because you are doing amazing work. There needs to be, more Teresa's all around, okay? Because you are doing an amazing thing and definitely making this world a better place.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me. This has been so fun.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and share it with someone else who you think needs it. Make sure that you connect with Teresa. All of her information is going to be in the description. Go to journeyinkindness.com, get her book on Amazon, all of that good stuff. And make sure that you share with her your act of kindness that you are going to, from the checklist that you are going to commit to this week. So pick up the checklist, the 75 kindness checklist, right?
75 acts of kindness.
75 acts of kindness checklist on her website, journeyandkindness.com. But thank you guys for watching. Remember to shine your light because the world needs it. We'll see you next week. Bye. Hey, family. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and watch the next one and leave a comment. I want to hear from you what your thoughts were on this episode. Make sure that you share it with somebody that you love. Don't forget to shine your light because the world needs it.